Hi, Professor Nicholas Rowley here, and in this lecture we will discuss some basics of what linguists call grammatical tone. What is it, where is it, and what is it used for? Let's begin. The vast majority of the world's languages are spoken, and in so speaking we primarily communicate using oral gestures that manifest as vowels and consonants, which together can be referred to as segments. In a simple word like baby, there are 4 segments: the consonant B, found twice, the vowel sound A, and the vowel sound E. These segments make up the steady stream of sonorous peaks and valleys that convey the vast repertoire of linguistically meaningful content. Writing systems the world over are grounded by their underlying segmental systems, and the formal study of phonetics and phonology has principally held segments to be its fundamental focus. At the same time, we can provide a complementary narrative of form-meaning association told from the vantage of a less storied protagonist of spoken communication, namely from the perspective of pitch and its ability to convey linguistic meaning. Pitch, aka fundamental frequency, or F0, corresponds to the rate of vibration of the vocal cords located within the larynx during speech, i.e. when speaking. While it is conceivable that human language could simply forego employing pitch as linguistically relevant, pitch changes would simply be incidental byproducts to be factored out of the signal, perhaps purely correlated with speech rate, speaker physiology, emotion, or other such extragrammatical factors. All known spoken languages, in fact, use pitch systematically in their grammar, making it a true language universal. One could imagine all languages would sound like the robot voice or alien voice, which is very monotone and flat. This sounds completely unnatural, even if you perfectly articulate the consonants and vowels. For example, the famous "take me to your leader" trope during alien-human first contact.
I am from the planet Nebula. Take me to your leader.
A useful division can be made between language types and how they use pitch. Tone languages use pitch to distinguish individual lexemes and other grammatical morphemes, and constitute approximately half of the world's 7,000 or so languages. Just as we can find ample minimal pairs for segments, a dutiful tone language will provide tonal minimal pairs which demonstrate underlying tone contrast. Perhaps the most famous case comes from Mandarin Chinese. For example, the same segmental string ma corresponds to 4 distinct lexical items depending on its tones. These tones are a high level, the word for mother,
ma,
rising, a word for hemp,
ma,
dipping, a word for horse,
ma,
and falling tone, the word for scold.
ma.
Mandarin is, of course, not alone in having such minimal sets, and we can replicate this exercise in other tone languages, such as unrelated Asian languages Shidong Kam and White Hmong, the African language Igbo of Nigeria, and the Mexican language Coppola Triqui. Just like in segmental systems, each tone language will use a different range of tone contrasts, or tonemes. Some languages have only one toneme, for instance a high tone versus toneless syllables. Some 2, high versus low, as in Igbo, while others may have perhaps a dozen, for example using 5 pitch heights on their own as level tones, as we see in Shidong Kam, plus various combinations creating contour tones. For example, Mandarin's dipping tone, ma. The exact number of tonemes will also depend on the analysis and whether one views contours as sequences of level tones or as non-decomposable units. An extreme tonal minimal set is found in White Hmong, where the same sound sequence t and a is written 7 different ways to capture 7 different tones. These are high tone ta, meaning deep, mid-tone ta, pierce, low tone ta, weight, falling tone ta, hill, rising tone ta, add water, and 2 special tones, a falling breathy ta, sink, and a low glottalized ta, there. The convention in most tone languages is to indicate different tones by diacritics, above or below the vowel, or via superscript numbers, which stand in for its pitch height. Ingeniously, in Hmong, they use letters to indicate tone, which are otherwise not used in the language. For example, a high tone ta, deep, is written with a final B letter, and this indicates that it has high tone and does not actually indicate a B sound. Non-tonal languages, on the other hand, do not use pitch in this way, and minimal pairs like in Mandarin and Huaimeng are completely absent. Instead, non-tonal languages use pitch exclusively for stress, along with other phonetic cues like duration and intensity, or for intonation, such as indicating sentence-level meaning like statements and questions, or different flavors of emphasis. The grammars of individual intonational systems range from quite simple to considerably intricate. For example, English with its different punctuations for the same word. Take the name Anna, which is pronounced differently for answers, Anna. Questions, Anna. Calls, Anna. Continuation, Anna. Surprise, Anna. Exasperation, Anna. Within tone languages, there's a widespread but often underappreciated phenomenon, grammatical tone. Loosely, grammatical tone refers to the use of tone to express grammatical categories, on par with the familiar array of derivational and inflectional affixes, clitics, and function words composed of segments, such as ing added to verbs to express an ongoing event in English, play, playing, or s added to nouns to indicate plurality, dog, dogs. We can illustrate grammatical tone by example, using a series of African languages on opposite ends of the continent. In the minority Nigerian language Ebira, tone inflects a pre-verbal first-person singular auxiliary ma. And although Ebira ma is less famous than its Mandarin counterpart we saw before, it shows an even greater number of contrasts through various phonological combinations of low tone, mid-tone, high, and super high tone. These are used to express inflectional categories of tense, aspect, interrogation, conditionality, and subjunctivity. So, for example, Ebira ma ve means I am coming, ma ve means I came, ma ve, did or do I come, ma ve, if I come, ma ve, I should be coming, ma ve, if I am coming, ma ve, if I usually come, and ma ve, should I be coming. In the Ebira case, the tone of the lexical verb itself, ve, come, is unaffected. Other languages show that it is equally possible, however, for the grammatical tone to target the verbal head of the construction. Consider the Cameroonian language Geli, the language of one band of traditional hunter-gatherers of the Central African rainforest. Here, grammatical tone changes are distributed across both the pre-verbal auxiliary, here ya, meaning we, as well as the verb itself, here de, meaning eat. Changes in tone involving high, low, and falling tone, in conjunction with vowel lengthening, express the familiar set of inflectional meanings that we saw in Ebira. These include present tense we eat, pronounced with a high-low sequence, ya de. The encodative, we are at the beginning of eating, ya de. The future, we will eat, ya de. The recent past, we ate recently, ya de. The distant past, we ate a long time ago, ya de. The imperative, let's eat, ya de. And the subjunctive, may we eat, ya de. In Ebira and Geli, we saw two cases of verb inflection, but nouns are certainly not immune from grammatical tone either. Moving to far West Africa, the Liberian language Vai is one such tonal language. As we expect, tonal minimal pairs are easy to come by. For example, high-toned la, meaning plankfish, low-toned la, meaning paddle, and rising-toned la for clay pot. To express definiteness, something which in many European languages is done by a pre-noun modifier, such as the English particle the, in Vai you add a rising tone to the right edge of the noun. This tonal inflection can result in complex melodies rarely found as underlying tonemes in the world's languages. For example, the twice rising contour la for the clay pot. Such complexes are the tonal equivalents to rare coda complexes like sixths in English, which only arise when words are inflected. With this as our background, we now have the tools to examine further complex issues in grammatical tone.